To ban or to band? Hello everyone, Handle Guy here guys, and today we'll be talking a little bit about the ban meta of Tiny Walls. To the people that coming from Advanced Wars by Web or just new to the site in general, when you queue up in the ranked ladder, um, you have the option to ban CEOs from the game. Um, each player has the choice to ban 6 COs from the roster because the way it works that you show the full roster of the game and you're able to ban 6 of the COs, and of course you don't know the COs that the other player can ban, so there is going to be some overlap. But basically, the idea is that you choose the COs that you don't want to play and that you also don't want the opponent to play. Once the bans come out, the COs that were left unbanned are up for grabs. The only rule is that you can't unban those CO, but I mean, it's not like you're going to play him anyways. So, differently from Advanced Wars by Web, which has tiers and you can choose the COs from those tiers. Tiny Walls gives you the full roster and you ban the COs that you don't want to play. Nerf go up against. So, yeah. There are some ban strategies because, of course, they are the tiny morsels are pretty unbalanced, so you need to know which COs to ban, and that's exactly what I'm going to go through this video. There are 5 general strategies then about banning, and we're going to I'm going to show the good things and the bad things about each one of these strategies. So the first strategy, that's not really a strategy really. It's basically you not banning any COs because you have the option to just not ban the COs. So there's not really a point not banning a CO. I mean, you can flex on the opponent, but well, there's obviously both COs to pick. Chances are the other opponent to ban the more stronger COs, so you're going to fight one of those. So don't do this if you're pretty new at the game. Just do this when you're experienced and you want to challenge yourself a little bit. And even then, you think twice before doing the no ban strategy. But now the second strategy, that's kind of the first actually strategy, but the safe bans strategy. Like I explained before, there are some COs that you just don't want to face on the ladder. Of course, and like he explained, the Tiny was pretty balanced. There are the pretty strong COs that it's unless it's a mirror match, they basically already won the game. So Tabitha, Calder, Cyrus, Brenner. There are some COs that can also go to that level depending on the map. So Greyfield and Snowwind, Grat, they are more map dependent, but it's still pretty healthy to ban them. And if you feel like they're going to be to pose a challenge. The good side of banning the safe bombs is that you are guaranteeing that you won't have to deal with them. You don't have to deal with Coder if you ban Coder yourself. The problem with the safe bomb strategy, it's because it's the obvious choice. Obviously, if it's the obvious choice, then there's a big chance that both you and your opponent might do the exact same bombs. So there's going to be a lot of bomb overlap, and there's not enough bans to ban every unbalanced CO, because there's more than 6 the of the unbalanced COs, and even if you ban someone like Coder, if you don't want to face, I don't know, like Forsyth, you just don't feel like you're doing Forsyth, but you already banned Coder and Tabitha. Well, you don't have CO bans to do anymore. So there are some problems with the safe bans, but there's nothing inherently wrong with going with the a safe ban. But beware that ironically the best option isn't the actually best option. Yeah. Now the further strategies, they are a little bit more complex. They rely on the opponent doing something specific, so it's a bit luck dependent, because of course now you're relying on the opponent doing something, and remember, you don't know the picks of your opponent until you already submit. So yeah, yeah. We are going to enter a little bit of game theory territory because of this. But if you do the strategies right, it will provide a better ban list on average. Basically, you're going to get a lot more bans in a game, and of course, the more bans in a game, they are more banned COs. More banned COs in equals less COs to choose, and less COs to choose makes PT easier to make your CO pick. And as teachers taught us, CO picking is a pretty big deal. And yeah, so basically these strategies are a little bit harder, a little bit more luck dependent, but they give a bigger payoff. So the third strategy of the list is the expected matchup strategy. Basically, the point of this strategy is that you pretty much already have the CO pick in your mind, so that your BAMs revolve around the fact that you don't want to be counterpicked. So basically, you're going to use your BAMs to give yourself more favorable matchups. So, like, for instance, if you're going to pick someone like Mira, you're going to ban COs with 2+ CO zone, because Mira, Mira, no, Grat. Sorry for confusion. The if you're going Grat, you want the COs with pretty small CO zones, because Grat is pretty good at sniping CO units due to her extended range, even on direct units. And Tabitha, you want to ban any CO with synergy with air units, because that means the opponent has to fight your air units with an average air unit, and someone like Mira, anyone that doesn't rely on day to day, a pretty weak day to day, someone like Penny, for instance, because of her big seal zone, the fact that she spams a lot of her powers. The good side of the expected matchup strategy is the fact that it almost sets you for the perfect matchup that you want. And there's the good chance that you will end up banning the ECO that your opponent wanted to use. Basically counter banning them. But it's a high risk, high reward type of strategy, because there's a good chance you could be counter banned back, because of course your strategy was around a specific CO. If for let's go back to the Tasha example. You want to play Tasha, but then you banned Wayland, you banned Whale, you banned you banned the usual COs that would have good air units, and then the Tasha got banned. The whole plan was thrown to the garbage, right? So it's a high risk, high reward type of strategy. So don't do it all the time. You have a lot to gain, but also a lot to lose from this strategy. The fourth strategy is the strategy of ban maxing. This is strategy that I use the most. It consists of using my BAMs to maximize the amount of BAMs that there is to match. So basically minimizing the amount of BAM overlap. So basically, if I know that my opponent is going to BAM the safe BAMs, so like, Tabby, Calder, maybe some naval maps, so maybe Greyfield. If I know that my opponent is going to go with the safe build, the safe bounce, then I can use my bombs to bomb the CEOs that I don't want to go with, and I'm basically having so that we have a lot less CEOs to choose with, and therefore it's easier time for you to have your CEO pick. That is, if you already have your pick in mind and it doesn't get counterbanned. The pros of the ban maxing strategy is that it promises to have a lot less seals to pick, and like explained, less seals to pick, easier time picking seal. There's a good chance that you will also counterban your opponent, and the game theory of this strategy specific is rigged in your favor. I will going to explain a little bit later about this, but this strategy is most likely going to work because of the quote-unquote rigged factor. But because we get into game theory territory, when this strategy doesn't work, um, we pretty screwed, right? Because there's a good chance that if it backfires, that is the way that is the opponents didn't do the safe picks, the safe bounce positions, then 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 obviously it's going to become the mirror match of the stronger COs, which you know not a good idea. And there's still some chance that it's going to have one or two bombs overlap, but other than that, the strategy is most likely going to work. Now, I'm going to explain why the game theory of this strategy specific is rigged towards you. For those that know a little bit about game theory, if you don't know what game theory is, basically, you probably heard about the scenario of the two prisoners. If one prisoner is snitches on the other, then the prisoner that snitch gets the better deal. The prisoner that didn't snitch gets the short end of the stick. So basically, it's a game that it rewards you for doing the different action, but if both of you do the same action, it's pretty bad. So you have a lot to gain if you do it, but if your opponent also does it, then you both screwed. But as you can see from the diagram, the very professional diagram that I made, you can see that that isn't a thing with strategy, because the whole point of the game theory is that if we don't do action, is that we get the worst result. But as you can see, if we don't ban the CEO, but the opponent does, and vice versa, if we ban but they don't ban, it's the exact same scenario. And of course, if we both ban, then we down one ban, and if we both don't ban, then the strong CO is on the list. But this is pretty good for us. We have pretty high chance that the strategy will work for us. Obviously, it's not going to work all the time. There are some times that, like I said, if the opponent doesn't bounce the stronger COs, then there's the nasty CO pick available. So be careful. Don't overdo it. But it is definitely a good strategy, but don't overdo it. The fifth strategy is the focus fire strategy. Basically, as the name implies, it's you focus all your bombs in one of two groups. You either focus all your bombs on the vanilla COs, or you focus all your bombs in the original COs. Yeah, because Tiny Walls has some original COs Even if they are characters from pre-existing characters, they still use skills from Time Wars. But the point is that as you can see, there are a lot of strong COs. In it's not true. It's not always the case for all of these. Like Greyfield, he's not strong most of the time, but there are times that he is. The same with some of the created COs for Judy, for instance. Um, but you can see that um, if you focus on the vanilla COs or if you focus the creative COs, it's going to be better with your bombs because the safe bombs, they mostly are with the vanilla seals, and some that go with the created seals, so that you basically take advantage of that fact. So if you want to if you sense that the opponent is going to ban more of the vanilla COs, then you can ban more vanilla COs, so that you basically have the OC COs to play with, and vice versa. If you sense that your opponent is going to ban more of the OC COs, then you can go ahead and ban more of the OC COs to have only the vanilla COs. The pro of the focus fire strategy is that, like I said, is going to be either a vanilla versus vanilla CO, or it's going to be a OCCO versus a OCCO. The vanilla COs and OCCOs, they do work a little bit different, so that when you have a vanilla CO versus a OCCO, it's a little wonky. I'm not gonna lie, but if you have vanilla CO versus vanilla CO and OCCO versus OCCO, even if the OCCOs work a little bit differently, you're not going to heat up your head as much if one is vanilla versus OCCO. The problem with the strategy, however, is that again it runs the problem that the opponent may not have done the safe bounce, um, and so that there's a big chance that you may face the stronger COs for the other group. So maybe if you bound the OCCOs, maybe the opponent did ban Tabitha, for instance, or vice versa, didn't ban like Grat. So yeah. Of course, there's the fifth secret strategy, the password. It consists of banning the the favorite CEO of the player. So just go ahead and ban Judy if you feel like you're going to play Buster. So yeah, that's it. Any favorite strategies? Which ones do you use? Do you think I overvalued a strategy? Maybe I underrated a little bit of a strategy? Has I forgot to mention any strategy? Is there one that would like me to discuss in detail? Let me know down in the comments. Anyways, I was Handle Guy, I guess. Peace out.